And do we need council to formally approve this computation? So we need you to take a look at this computation and approve it, because we then submit it to the other entities, and the other entities,
That's what they're charged.
that's what they're charged. Their services for the next year are now set by this cost computation. And you will notice at the bottom of page 1 reflects the contract discussion amount that was discussed earlier tonight with the East Florence Water District at $4.63 per thousand gallons. So that's something that if next week's meeting results in a different number, obviously we would have to come back and amend this cost computation.
So for now, we have to approve this 463, but it's not going to affect anything.
Well, you're just approving the cost computation.
Okay.
I think you're leaving, and I would ask the city attorney to correct me if I'm saying anything wrong here, but you're leaving the door open that when you meet with them next week, if something else comes out of that, then you would have to come back and change that.
Right.
This Wednesday.
With respect to East Florence.
With respect to East Florence. Everybody else, this is it. We need a motion to approve it?
I would make a motion to approve cost computation for 2013 water, for 2013.
As presented.
As presented.
Second.
Have a first and a second.
Be paying more.
Any further discussions? Roll call, please.
Yes. Pilkington.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Martinez.
Now.
Edwards.
Aye.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye.
5 ayes. 1 nay.
What's up with the nays?
Next up, we have the debt retirement cap factor. And what this is, there are 3 pages of it, and we have 3 different fees that have to be, bonds that have to be set and paid for. The net of it is that with these bonds, we are, as was anticipated about a year ago, the discussion came out that we would have to have annual increases. Unfortunately, the one thing that we have learned, the concept of being able to do this in thirds just doesn't work with the bond. So we've got to pay the entire thing, the increase now to make the bond payments. So instead of being able to divide it in 3 parts, and we would have had the first one in January and another one next January and the third one January of 2016, which would have brought us to a very similar number. Unfortunately, we have to do them all at one time to make to make our payments. So we've had some discussions about what we would do, and there are some possible ways to address this to help the citizens. We can't necessarily help the citizens from other entities, they'll have to do that themselves. But citizens of Florence who are really struggling to make this payment, this increased payment, the discussion has been that we would bring back to you the possibility of setting up a system where those who are really struggling have instead of $5.88 total increase, instead we offer them the possibility of coming in, filling out an application, and having their rate increase only be 88 cents until January of 2016. So that would give them about 19 months of relief to get used to that rate increase and to work up to that. It's not something anybody wants. We do not like the rate increase. We wish we didn't have to do it. We didn't like it when we were going to have to phase it in. We like it even less when we have to do it as one. But the bottom line is we had historically low interest rates. The opportunity to do this was there. We had a lot of projects. At that time, we had $40 million in projects that had to be done. We went out and bonded for $8 million and additional money to pay off at a better interest rate, some additional projects. And bottom line is as much as we don't want to do this, we have a system, a very valuable water system that has to be updated, has to be upgraded on a continual basis. I do want to stress, there's always the possibility, unfortunately, new unfunded mandates come out. We think we have $32 million more that we have to do. We may end up with more than that depending on what the state mandates. Also, we are also in a situation where, as we sit right now, with our 4,314 taps system-wide, all of this debt has to be paid for by those 4,314 taps. So we have to remember that as we go through this, that it is a finite number. I know that in the past, there's been some folks who have been concerned that rate increases or anything like that were going to support new development or something like that. I want to make sure that people understand that is not the case. Any new development would have to pay for itself. In fact, would have to pay the 51% that was discussed earlier, and that would go toward tackling the 32 million. It doesn't really help on the existing bonds, but it helps knock down what we would have, what we would have to go to the citizens for on future improvements. So what we have before you are the calculations for the different bonds, and we are asking the council to approve this. We really don't have a choice in this because we have to make our bond a debt obligation, but we are asking you to approve this, and we will definitely be, unless you instruct us otherwise, we will be working with getting something together so we can offer relief to those citizens who really need it. At the same time, we will also be asking it in that same plan that anybody who would like to contribute an extra $5 a month to sponsor somebody who needs this, that type of a thing, they can do that as well. I'm sure we'll get more asking for relief than we will get people asking to sponsor, but we wanted to present this to you and ask you to approve these debt retirement tap factors.
Mike, if it's my understanding, the numbers aren't really changing, it's just when they're changing is what we're really looking
Right.
at.
What was anticipated at the time was that they would be able to charge some extra upfront, accumulate some dollars, then some more the next year, but it doesn't work. We need the money right from the get-go to make the payments. So it just was not something that is feasible to do. We have to make our bond payment in 2014, and then we have to make it in 2015. We can't start making the full thing in 2016. It has to be done this year. So when that was presented to council in that meeting on April 15th, 2013, when the finance director at the time presented that, she wasn't taking that into account that we would have to pay for it the first 2 years.
Anyone else?
The good news, though, is that that's pretty much the rate increases. There's not going to be much more for several years, because when you go through the debt repayment schedules, very small increases over the next few years as the capital payment goes up a little bit. But until 2025, we're not looking at any kind of steep increases at all. And hopefully by then we can, in all likelihood, refi that bond or potentially have enough capital to really help us tackle it now.
So, on this debt retirement, this water rate, it's going to double. It's in the summer, right?
No, it's a fixed amount for, every customer pays a set amount on the debt retirement side.
Right.
That is fixed. Usage doesn't.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with the water rate. This is just the debt payment.
Debt payment, that's what I'm saying.
May I make a motion?
This takes effect immediately, which would start
Well, May 1st.
May 1st.
That's good.
Payments due June 1st.
Now you can.
Okay, may I make a motion to approve the debt retirement raise in what amount are we talking about? Like total? $5 in the amount of $5.88,
Starting May 1st.
starting May 1st. As, okay, what about?
Second.
I'm a little lost in this, okay, so,
Is that all we need?
And I want to clarify for the record,
Right.
the increase is 588.
$588.
Per ERU for Florence and 337 per ERU for Coke Ridge, Williamsburg, and Rockville. And that's because 3 of the main projects in this last bond are Florence only.
Is that the motion?
yes, it is in motion, yes.
And we have a second.
Let's see, a second amendment.
Yes, it's amended.
Roll call.
Hiltingsrud,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Martinez,
Nay.
Edwards,
Aye.
Villagrana,
Reluctantly, aye.
and Mayor Orr.
Aye.
Was it aye?
Yes. It wasn't a reluctant aye, but it was.
Five ayes and 1 nay.
Okay, before you, we have, this goes back to the earlier discussion with the East Florence Water District. Again, this is what I just talked about in terms of the cost computation. For right now, pending meeting with them next week, we're asking you to approve this resolution that sets their rates, as we discussed, would be $4.63 for the moment, knowing we're going to go with them next week. But we kind of have to do this right now. We don't have a choice prior to May 1st, so you may well be amending this later, but for right now, we need to ask you to approve this.
I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 5-2014, setting water rates for East Florence Water Association in the amount of $4.63.
Yep.
In addition to the other
In addition
conditions
to the-
contained in the resolution.
Yes. Amended that as our attorney pointed out.
Did I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Baker,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Hiltingsrud,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Orr,
Aye.
Councilman Villagrana. 6 ayes.
Okay, authorization, unless you want to read this one too. Authorization for the mayor to sign the lease agreement for Colorado State Patrol. That would be Dory.
Oh, in terms of,
Yeah, talking about
This is
it.
just a renewal of the lease that we've had, a 5-year lease, which ends in June. The renewal is for the next 5 years, and it includes a 2% increase each year for 5 years, which is what was agreed upon with the state and at the workshop, or the committee meetings that we had. So it just sets forth the new lease amount. None of the other terms of the lease have changed.
That's when we discussed.
Did it increase any?
It'll increase 2% per year starting June 1st.
I'll make a motion that we approve the authorization for mayor to sign this lease agreement with the Colorado State Patrol with a 2% increase for each year for the next 5 years, and it's effective June the 1st.
Second.
We have first, second. Any further discussion?
I was just going to ask, was this acceptable to them? Have they
This,
come back on?
this is their lease.
Dory,
I'm checking that,
the lease agreement, provides it starts July 1.
July 1.
It's a July 1.
Amended.
As corrected. Amended as corrected.
Yeah, that's why I was checking that. Expires in June.
Okay, we have first, second, roll call.
Baker,
Aye.
Hiltingsrud,
Aye.
Edwards,
Aye.
Villagrana, Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Orr,
Aye.
6 ayes.
Okay, next pay request, number 1, for Mulch Construction for West Tank and Booster Pump Station. And who's, Didn't talk about that, no? Sorry? You're the
This
tank
is,
clerk, sir.
there's a cover letter on this pay request from Farnsworth Group, the engineer for the project that they're working on right now, which is one of the regional projects. They've reviewed the pay request, everything that the contractor has done has been reviewed by the engineer, and they are recommending that we approve the pay request number 1 in the amount of $170,838.50 for work through April 10th of 2014.
I'll make a,
Wait, we got,
So moved.
so moved.
oh, okay.
Let's, if you could state your motion with specificity,
No.
please.
Okay, sir. I recommend that we approve the payment of $170,838.50 to Moles Construction for the first application.
Second.
For the regional West Booster Pump Station.
Second.
Does he need that in there? What? The regional West Booster Pump Station.
Is it for the Regional West Booster Pump Station and West Tank improvements?
As amended.
All right.
Okay. Roll call.
Villagrana.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Hildingsrud.
Aye.
Edwards.
Aye.
Baker.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye.
6-5.
Okay, task order number 5, Farnsworth Group for the South Reservoir Project. Dorothy?
This is, we had a meeting with the engineers last Tuesday. We've done some of the geotech work on the South Reservoir project, which is part of the bond that we just talked about that we refinanced last July. And it is a regional project to repair the South Reservoir to bring up the water level so we have back to full storage. The geotech is going to require further investigation by the engineers before he can design what the fix is on it, plus he has to meet with the state engineer, Mark Perry, find out what new regulations the state's going to require, and what permits we're going to need from the state to proceed with this project. So right now, we're still on schedule. The project is scheduled to start in 2015, and this is just the beginning of the preliminary work so that they can begin the design for whatever that fix is going to be.
And the sum is $9,200.
Yeah. So this portion of the
Okay.
engineering would be $9,200.
Hey, the task order is enumerated 52. So we can tie the two together. Is it 5 or is it 52?
It's 52.
52.
Sorry,
Okay.
the agenda is wrong, but the
Okay.
task order is correct.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna make the motion. Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve task order number 52 for the Farnsworth Group for South Reservoir project and for the payment of $9,200 to be made.
Second.
Any further discussions?
I second.
Okay, further discussion.
Baker second.
I second.
All right, roll call.
Edwards,
Aye.
Baker,
Aye.
Villagrana, Hildingsrud,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
and Mayor Orr.
Aye. Okay, moving on down the list. Mayor's report. Arbor Day's coming up real soon. We have 17, I think there's 15 or 17 trees to put out. We need to find locations, so if you know of good locations for trees, we got quite a few trees, good-sized trees. I had the little Arbor Day lady that came up to me last time, and they're giving us 3 fruit trees. We met with the nursing home, and we're putting them up at the Veterans Home, is where we're putting the fruit trees. They was real excited to get the 3 fruit trees.
Oh, it's good.
But we got a lot of other trees, so if you know of places, Sam and everybody else, we gotta get them ones that were donated by BJ, which is nice trees. I know, BJ's been in seeing me quite often. So if you know of places, and we need to see if we can get the tree spade, and let's get these moved before they get too far along. And that is all I have, so if you hear anything, get together with me. Like Rudel wanted one out in the front of his property, and anyone that wants one, if it looks like a good place, that'll fit.
I would
Let's
like
get
one
it.
in for my property too, on Main Street.
But you got concrete, don't you?
Yeah.
They don't grow too good in concrete.
No. They just peel
If they'll
out.
have to be dug out. No, I'll get the smaller one.
Yeah, we could put some bell tower if you,
And I did
we'd have to talk to the landscapers.
mention a couple of times, we need a couple of trees around the parking, playground at Lions Park to shade it.
Come get with me,
Bring
we'll go
shade.
stake them out.
Okay,
I
I
cannot,
got like 15 of them.
okay.
I will not speak for the Arts Council, but I will talk to Lynn tomorrow and see, actually, we have some trees that are problems.
your place.
Yes, you do.
And so perhaps if we could remove some trees, we're trying to work with Black Hills, if they'll pay for the removal. If we could, get them to pay for it, well, then we would have space, so.
Okay.
But I will pursue it.
Yeah, anyone that can find a good location for them, I'm up for it.
If it's agreeable with Sam, I think that Quartz Park could probably take a couple of trees.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah, Court
yeah,
Park,
it's
yeah.
empty.
Okay, I'll start a
We have
list.
a question. What type of trees are these that you're, do you know?
Have you seen them having it, Sam?
Yeah, these are shade trees.
They're nice,
They're
they were
ash.
expensive trees.
What are they?
Green on top.
They are,
Green on top.
Ash,
they are ash.
locust, just ash,
No locust.
just ash.
Just ash.
Oh, just ash.
Keep in
I
mind,
better have
these
ash.
things are already 25, 30 feet tall.
Yeah, they're good-sized trees, that's why we gotta use a spade.
You've got plenty of room in the cemetery.
No, we need
Yeah, we
some
need
trees
that
around
here.
playground, for sure, and it will take, it could take big tree over there.
They're 25-foot
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah, it's very empty spot there, and a couple of
Get
trees
together
could
with
fit in.
them.
Thank you.
Figure out, we'll still stake them out. I'll get with the tree committee.
What do you think about Wilcox Park?
Yeah, Wilcox.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna have
I
good
think,
places for them.
Yeah.
Quartz Park probably could use at least 4 of them.
I agree with Paul, Sports Park is empty, so it needs a lot of trees.
What about the skate park?
Why
Our
do you
part
need
there
tree
is
in a skate
that it
park?
would drop, depending on the kind of tree, is usually they drop leaves and that doesn't necessarily fit well with its function. If we keep it far enough away where the leaves don't go on there,
Okay, good. Sounds like we got a lot of good ideas.
We'll find a place for them.
I'll get together with you this week and we'll go around and start staking out where maybe we can do them. You can call in and,
And it kind of wait till next week, I'm kind of busy.
isn't that what you told me last week?
Yeah.
All right,
Committees.
committee reports.
I was very fortunate to go to a morning breakfast for the Boy Scouts along with the mayor, the city manager, and a gentleman by the name of Gary Sancook. And the purpose turned out to be that one of our personnel for the city of Florence was honored. I'm very proud to say that our chief of police was picked as Citizen of the Year by the Boy Scouts. Our city manager did a great job about talking about the chief of police. And unfortunately, the breakfast served in tin plates that I used to get when I was in the Navy, so it wasn't all that appealing. But congratulations to our chief of police back there.
Slash cameraman.
Yeah, our cameraman.
You awake?
I think he's fallen asleep.
He's waving.
Committee reports?
Yes, I gotta thank Sam and his crew again with their ADA project over there by the bell tower, whatever it is. They did another good job over there for them ADAs, and they're doing a good job, Sam. I gotta say a lot for your crew.
Other committee reports? Mr. Edwards?
I'll refer one to the city manager, FEDC.
Okay. He'll probably talk when it's his turn. Any committee reports?
I don't
No
have any
committee, nothing in the prisons?
No.
Okay. All right. City attorney report.
Well, I think I had told you I would try to have a draft of an ordinance in regard to marijuana retail marijuana regulation this meeting. It's not the first time I've underestimated my timetable. I don't have it ready. What I'd like to do, I think, is have it ready for a workshop where I could give it to you and we could talk about it rather than try to do that at a meeting. Is that all right with you, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, that'd be a lot easier that way.
Is that for open to the public, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
yes, it's me.
So, when is our second meeting in May?
May 19th.
In 19th.
Do we have anything at 6 o'clock?
Car show. And that's car show?
Supposed to be on time. First meeting in May, because you won't know it. Okay. May 19th, there's nothing set.
6 o'clock, May 19th. Does that sound okay with
That's good.
everybody?
I can do that.
All right.
6 o'clock?
Yeah, May 19th.
That gonna give us enough time?
Well, give us an hour to talk about it anyway, and we'll see what y'all want to do.
Okay.
And then I need to request an executive session after the regular session here to discuss litigation and a matter of negotiation.
Actually, I have two matters of negotiation.
But you may have a matter of negotiation, and I have a matter of negotiation. All right, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
May 19th, 6 o'clock.
City manager?
Okay, a couple things real quickly. We discussed Arbor Day and the trees earlier. The city's official Arbor Day celebration and the planting will be this Saturday. Saturday, I believe that's the 26th, or whatever day it is, at 9 o'clock. Go to the corner of Pikes Peak and Front Street, and we will be planting one there. Also, FEDC, we did have the Fremont Economic Development Corporation meeting last week. And it was another one of those situations where actually our chief of police got quite a bit of credit. They were talking about, and well-deserved, for his efforts to bring in industrial businesses and other businesses into the community. And so he got discussed a lot there, and FEDC is trying very hard to bring business into the community, and it seems as if Florence is positioned fairly well right now with FEDC, so we're happy with the service that they're giving us. Also, we had a consolidated dispatch meeting in this room last week, and we're going to have one tomorrow too. A proposal was put forward by Canyon City to have, or no, I guess it was the sheriff. The sheriff put forward a proposal to bring in a consulting group to help do a lot of the technical studies that need to be done. It's going to be funded by the 911 board, so it didn't cost us any money, which I like that. And then another item to discuss is, before you have the financials, and if you look at the financials, right now, revenues look strong, a little bit misleading again. Want to point that out, that we've got the big insurance proceed of $133,000 that came in that was not budgeted. That's for the roof. That project is basically completed. So we're doing pretty good on revenues, but there's a little extra revenue that makes it look a little bit better. That's about 5%. So if you deduct that out, you're really at about 28-29%. Through 25% of the year. On the flip side, on the expenditures, we also show $89,000 going out for that project. So there's some extra expenditures there. Overall, the city's expenditures are actually in pretty good shape right now. We've got that extra that went there. We of course have the bonds that come out of your budget. So your budget is always blown on like January 3rd, but it's still looking pretty good. Historically, you're doing pretty well. You have a budget of $138,000, $65,000 of it goes to the insurance and bonds right away. So, and same with the workman's compensation, so on and so forth. So we're looking pretty good so far, but we continue to have restrictions in place, and we probably will go through the entire year keeping those restrictions in place unless we get to the point in about October or so where we know we're, from my perspective, at least like about $250,000 ahead. If we're not that far ahead, we're going to keep those limitations in place. So that makes it tough on some of the projects that we may want to do, but we really feel like we have to do that to make sure that we get through the year in very good shape. With that, I do not have anything else.
Yeah, you might add, and that is sales tax collection, just through the first 2 months, is 4.2% up.
Yeah.
And I think that...
The sales tax numbers are looking decent in the first 2 months. We continue to, we're going to watch those very closely. I think that, you're going to see those numbers get stronger. Annexation also would potentially help those quite significantly with the addition of the large hardware store up there.
Hopefully.
So that's all I have.
Okay. I make a motion that we pay the bills.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baker?
Aye.
Piltings-Reed?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Villagrana?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye.
7 ayes.
Okay. We take a break before your executive session?
And we'll need a motion to go into executive session.
Okay.
Can I make a motion?
Need a motion?
Yeah.
Make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss 2 cases of litigation. After a 5-minute break.
Litigation and negotiation.
I'm sorry, litigation and negotiations.
Second.
After a 5-minute break.
He did say that.
Okay.
Villagrana?
Aye.
Piltings-Reed?
Aye.
Martinez?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Edwards?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye.
6 ayes.
Going to our room. We're going to our room.
I guess we could go in there so
Yeah,
people can stay there.
We said they could stay in here.
Okay, we'll go grab that recorder, we'll go in there.